What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're here for AEW on TNT review for January 7, 2020, the New Year Smash Night 1 edition of the show. Had the World Heavyweight Championship on the line, the Women's Championship on the line, Cody versus Matt Sydal one-on-one for the very first time. An 8-man tag team match between SU and Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed and TH2. And so much more. So we started the show off with SCU, the Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed, and TH2. And can I just say, ever since the Acclaimed faced SCU and Max Caster went out there and did a rap, and then Kazarian rapped against him, his raps have sucked. He's already become a flash. He's already become his raps are just like he's lost his confidence or something, because everything he's done when it comes to rapping to the ring and shit has been mediocre at best. And it's an 8-man tag match. I hate AEW relies way too much on these 8-man, 20-man, 8-man, 15-man, whatever tag team matches. They're just chaos to the max, and I just can't stand them. They're just they do them way too much. I mean, it was just a couple weeks ago we had a 14-man tag team match that was turned into a 12-man tag team match because Woodlow couldn't be there due to family reasons. But still, I'm tired of seeing these matches. I know they want to make tag teams a big thing, but sheesh. Also, the storyline going around right now is that if SCU loses another tag team match, they will no longer be a tag team. So we gotta look out for that. Will this be the night that you end the SCU? No, it would not be. The Acclaim super clicks the Acclaim. Evan takes a DT, then a super kick. Meltzer driver block. Daniels hits a third. The blind tag. Best moonsault. Power driver combo, cover 1, 2, 3, and they win the match. So, just a bunch of convoluted mess here. I think this is going to be one of those things with SCU where they're going to win, and then they'll probably face the Young Bucks for the tag team championships. Probably lose, and that's that. So, yeah. This is like somewhere in the vein of the Ric Flair storyline back in the day when he was told by Vince McMahon, if you lose one more match, you have to retire. As long as it's singles match. Tag team matches didn't matter because, if somebody else got pinned on Rick's team, then Vince McMahon's not going to, retire because someone else lost. But yeah, and it started out interesting, and then they just had him win by DQs and countouts and other BS shit, and it's just like, it's like you just have SCU win because they can win until Daniels makes a mistake, or Kazarian makes a mistake, or they both make mistakes, and it causes them to lose the match, or they just can't keep up with whoever they lose to. And don't have it be the Young Bucks. Be a team that, like the Acclaimed, like Top Flight, a team that is young, up and coming, that could put that on their resume that they were the team to beat SCU and be the one to retire the tag team known as SCU. Give it to somebody young, whether it is the Acclaimed, Top Flight, or heck, somebody who's not even in the company right now. Not somebody who's already well established. Just going to put that out there. Kazarian gets on the mic and says that's how you start out the year. He says that the challenge was put out the next time he and Daniels lose together, they will be done as a tag team forever. He doesn't see that happening on his watch. Daniels takes the mic and says he has Matt and Nick's back. Other than that, tonight they face the champions in the ring for the titles. The two teams shake hands, they celebrate a bit more, and that is that. So yes, that is what they're going to do. Who knows? It could be the next time they wrestle. It could be 6 months from now. Who knows when that's going to actually happen? I just hope they book it right, which is AEW, so I can see them booking it just right. Time to hear from the former AEW champion, Jon Moxley, heading to the ring, and it's just so weird to see Moxley walking down that same area that he always does with no championship on his shoulder. It's just so weird because he held it for majority of the year. He held it from February to December. So, yeah, it's just weird to see Moxley without the title. Says, he says fans may expect him to come out here and cuss his storm about what happened during his title match against Kenny Omega and said he says life isn't fair. Sometimes you're given bad deal. He comes from an area, he comes from Cincinnati, Ohio, where it's one of the roughest cities in America, next to Cleveland and other places in New York. But yeah, like, life isn't fair there. You have to take it on the chin and get up and just continue to go. He says that's when you stand your ground and don't give it an inch. Moxley says an appropriate response would be to find Omega and Don Callis, then beat them down with a crowbar. But with a title match taking place, he's not going to take that opportunity away from a guy like Rey Fenix, who has scratched and clawed his way to the top for 13 years. It's not my right to change someone else's destiny. Moxley then tells Omega that he's not safe. And when he says he's going to do something, he will do it. The boogeyman will be forever lurking over your shoulder. Says Omega, it's going to one day realize he crossed the wrong guy. So, Moxley versus Omega, Revolution at Revolution, I can absolutely see that. We got a ways to go. It's either going to be at Revolution or Double or Nothing. I don't know how far they want this to go. Do they really have anybody that they could have Omega face before he gets to Moxley again? Because I know he's going to probably face Rich Swann later in the year for the Impact World Championship so he can win it. And then with Kota Ibushi winning the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championship at Wrestle Kingdom and defending it the next night, I can totally see this being the bridge that we needed for New Japan Pro Wrestling to see Kenny Omega come in, face Kota Ibushi for that title, and go from there. Backstage, Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor with Dasha about an update on Trent. Chuck says he has a torn pec for 4 to 5. He'll be out for 4 to 5 months. Miro Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian come in. Miro says he knows Trent was the leader, and if they need a friend, they can come to his house, wash his car, do his laundry, stuff like that. And he's like, you mean like a young boy? Trent says, or Chuck says, not Trent, Chuck. But he's like, I've been to Japan and I ain't no young boy. But it's like, you know what? How about next week I beat your goofy ass in the ring? And Miro's like, you know what? Fine. But if I beat you, you have to be my servant until at least the wedding. He's like, fine. As long as we can get this shit over with. Hannah Circle standing on stage to watch the next match between Jake Hager versus Wardlow. This was a horse fight. Now, on paper, if you're looking at this, Wardlow versus, just two big men. Big, beefy man. Guarantee Vince McMahon, if he had this in his ring, if Vince McMahon had this match in one of his wrestling rings, he'd be just having a fucking stiffy. He'd have it hard on backstage. Because these are two beefy boys going at each other. Was it a good match? It was decent. Jake Hager's, he's just, I don't know. He's got a lot of problems. He's not really that good. Wardlow heads up top and hits a senton on Hager. He goes for the cover. Hager with the head in arm triangle. Sorry. Wardlow gets his foot on the bottom rope. Wardlow's face down into the turnbuckle. Hager goes to the second rope, brings Wardlow up another head and arm triangle, but Wardlow brings him down to the apron to break it. Hits the F10, 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Jericho says they're still very much in the inner circle. Hager and Wardlow bump fists as the rest of the group claps after them. So, Wardlow gets the win. Will this be the last match between these two? You guarantee probably not. Private Party has some gin, but forget the juice. Snoop Dogg shows up with the juice. Matt Hardy then shows up with papers for Private Party. Hardy wants to make makes them kings and 30% for what they can provide to them. It's fair enough. They double check some details. Hardy says even cameo on Twitch is allowed. Snoop did pretty much nothing but stand around. Private Party signs the papers. Hardy says he'll see them later for dinner. I don't get it. Snoop, in my opinion, honestly, was a waste of time. I I'm one of those people, I'm more of a traditional person. I really don't care for celebrities being a part of wrestling. Unless they bring something to the table, and honestly, like Pat McAfee in NXT, he brought stuff to the table. I mean, I wouldn't put him on a high celebrity, he's like a lower celebrity, but still, he brought things to the table and contributed to the show. Snoop Dogg really did not. Taz heads out to the ring for a weigh-in, because why do we need a weigh-in between Darby Allin and Brian Cage? Darby Allin is a small, skinny dude, and Brian Cage is a big, beefy man. Why do we need a weigh-in? Darby Allin and Brian Cage, the two will meet next week for the title. Taz wants to know why Cage has to go first, because simply he's the challenger, antagonizing Tony Schiavone over the order. Cage eventually, and by the way, the change to the TNT Championship is that they took the red belt and gave it to -1, while the belt it has now is the same plates, just a black strap. That's it. Honestly, in my opinion, I would have won with dark purple just to honor Brody Lee. That just would have been me. Brody Lee, I would have had the strap dark purple, but that's just me. Cage eventually goes up and weighs in at 272 pounds. Allin then heads to the weigh-in at 170 pounds. Allin takes the mic and says, "You know what? I've dealt with shit like from people like you this whole life." Says this isn't going to be fun. Let's get to the fun part. Grabs a skateboard. Taz tells Tony to get out of the ring and goes to talk, but out comes Sting. Team Taz bails out of the ring. Sting is now in the ring with Darby. Taz yells and he's sick of the snow and he's sick of Sting. Tells Allin that next week on TNT, champion will be crowned. A new TNT champion will be crowned. Sting and Allin exchange looks as Team Taz heads to the back. Backstage, MJF brings a cameraman into the room where Jake Hager is super mad about his loss. MJF tells Hager that he should be proud of himself. He got in and out of the ring, which doesn't always happen in pro wrestling, and he's still undefeated in the octagon. Hager says MJF almost got dropped when he came in the room, but he's cool. He gets his fist bump. Hager then tells him to head out. Backstage, Alex Marvez talks to Jurassic Express about what happened next. They did show us what happened on Dark the night before, with -1 coming out and cutting a pretty funny promo on Marco Stunt. Do I really need to, keep that on Dark? It's an 8-year-old kid. Keep it on Dark. Don't even need to show it. That needs to be something that stays on Dark and we don't see on TV. I'm just saying. FTR shows up and tells Stunt he's useless and he's the other guy. He lets the other guys do all the dirty work while he talks. Stunt says next week he's taking Luchasaurus' spot and he'll beat both of their asses. FTR seems to be all up for that match. So, yeah. Cody, I guess the whole Marco Stunt thing is just that he's getting picked on because of his size. And he's getting the people agitating him. I mean, they had -1. -1 went out there on Dark and said, "Oh, you're useless because you only get wins because you always had these other guys around you." And then of course he said when he gets older and he's taller, when he goes to face him, he'll be taller than him. That's if Marco Stunt's even doing any of this thing in 10 years or so. Cody with Snoop Dogg for some reason versus Matt Sydal. Cody uses the entrance theme that Snoop Dogg remixed for him. Sydal is him with a quick pin attempt. And I'm just going to have to say, Snoop Dogg was useless in this segment. He took over the coaching role for Arn Anderson, even had the little fucking paper thing or whatever they called it. And there was a part where Matt Sydal goes for a meteor onto the apron, and Snoop Dogg was in the way and almost got his fucking leg destroyed. Snoop was useless in this match. I did not know why they needed to bring Snoop Dogg out here. I mean, they had to pay for his advertisement, even though they could have did some kind of talking segment with Tony Schiavone, but no. And when they were making their entrance, you had fucking Chris Jericho going, "Hey, Snoop is in AEW, Snoop has joined AEW, Snoop has jumped to AEW," something like that. And I'm like, really? It'd be one thing like when Sting came to AEW where we didn't know it was going to happen. But this thing has been advertised for weeks that he was going to be here on the 6th. Good back and forth match between these two. Cody dodges a jumping knee strike, crossroads hit, then another one, 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Serpentico and Luther jump in and attack and beat up Cody. Why this happened is during the match, Cody inadvertently knocked over, hit Serpentico and knocking him over. So, here come these two to fight. Matt Sydal and Cody help beat them up. Sydal is going up. It looks like he's going to go up and hit a shooting star on Serpentico, but Snoop's like, you know what? No, dog. Let me do it. Let me do something. He gets up and gives you the worst fucking splash I have ever seen. That was absolutely stupid. Dumb. So dumb. And then they did a ceremony with 3 counts so Snoop could feel better for himself. Please go away and never come back. Hikaru Sheeta versus Avadon, AEW Women's Championship match. Could Avadon unseat the pretty much, I think, the longest reigning AEW Women's Champion? I have to double check that. Held it since Double or Nothing. But Sheeta versus Avadon, during the beginning of the match, like early on in the match, Avadon goes under the ring. And pulls Sheeta under as if she was like the big monster in a monster movie, in a like one of those found footage movies or something. She comes out, Avadon with blood all down the front of her face, and Sheeta comes out with blood on her neck as if she was just eaten again. Avadon has the upper hand for the majority of this match. Sheeta's able to bring Avadon in via suplex. Avadon bridges and up like Bray Wyatt, hits a clothesline cover 2. Sheeta gets up and goes to the roll over her own for a 2. She quickly gets away, then Sheeta hits a running knee to the face, cover 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, that match ended quickly out of nowhere. Avadon, this ending, it just kind of felt anticlimactic. Avadon is supposed to be this undead type of person. She is beating Sheeta the entire match. One running knee, that was that. People have kicked out of the running knee the first time. She just had to use multiple running knees before. But having Avadon just lose off one running knee, it kind of just took the wind out of the sails, I feel. So, next week is a very, very stacked card for New Year's Smash Night 2. You have Pac versus Eddie Kingston, Miro versus Chuck Taylor, Chuck Taylor. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Chuck Taylor. If Chuck loses, he has to be Miro's young boy until after Kip's and Penelope's wedding, which is in February. The Waiting Room with Britt Baker versus Cody Rhodes. Now, if you've been watching AEW Dark, they have given Britt Baker her own talk show segment with Rebel as her, co-host. If you want to kill ratings, if you want people to switch to NXT, put the Waiting Room on TV. This is dumb. What the fuck are they thinking? This is going to be the lowest rated segment in AEW history. Rebel's annoying, Britt's annoying in these fucking segments. It's fucking pathetic. I am so tired of these fucking talk shows anyway. I'm so tired of it. Look at Miz TV on WWE television. Look at the dirt sheets. I can't stand those. So you're going to bring your own version of those to AEW? Leave it on Dark or get rid of it. Do not put it on TV. FTR versus Jurassic Express. Darby Allin versus Brian Cage TNT Championship. And Serena Deeb versus Tay Conti for the NWA Women's World Championship. The Elite will be in action in what is the Inner Circle's New Year's resolution. Tay Conti with Anna Jace, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds tells Deeb she has all the respect for her, but she's coming for that title. She says she has a lot of experience in judo and jiu-jitsu and has plenty of backup with her. Anna Jace says yes, she will have the Dark Order with her. So, is Anna Jay officially a part of the Dark Order? I don't know. Kenny Omega versus Rey Fenix, AEW World Heavyweight Championship. This was fantastic. Love this main event. This was everything we wanted in this match and more. There was a point where Rey Fenix gets, I think he was dragon suplexed. He rolls through, hits a super kick, falls over. Holy shit. Just the moves back and forth. These two work so well together. Omega looks for a swinging DDT, but Phoenix pops up and lands on his feet. He nails Omega with a drop kick. Big chop, looks for a springboard, but gets chopped down onto the floor. So much back and forth. It was so fucking crazy. I can't even do this match justice. But Do you think that Rey Fenix was going to beat Kenny Omega this early in the Kenny Omega's run? No. Phoenix with the stomp to the champ and heads to the top rope for a frog splash. Omega gets up, his knees up, which they did put away. They did say that he was wasting his time because he's sitting there doing the Eddie stuff. He's like shimmying his arms a couple times, pointing up, while as he climbs to the top. And yes, he got hit with the knees. Phoenix is put on the turnbuckle with Phoenix, fights him off, looks for a move, but it's caught in midair. Tiger driver by Omega. Holy shit, that was terrible looking. He hits the V-trigger, Phoenix barely kicks out, and Omega looks to the one-wing angel, hits it, 1, 2, 3. So Omega retains, and then we get the post-match. And this is where I think this took a dive, plain and simple. Callis gets on the mic and says, apparently something terrible is happening in the back. We see Kingston's family beating up Pac and Penta. Callis calls Phoenix tells Phoenix that Penta and Pac isn't coming for him. It's just a one-winged angel standing him up into a scrap heap of history. He tells Omega to finish him, but out comes Jon Moxley with a barbed wire bat, and he smacks Omega in the midsection. Callis bails out of the ring as Moxley stares him down. Impact World Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson then run out to take down Moxley. The Impact Stars beat up Moxley and then hits a magic killer on him. They embrace with Omega and then he continued to beat up Moxley. And I'm like, where the fuck is everybody? Why is nobody on the side stopping these guys who do not work for you? Finally, the Varsity Blondes come in. They get beat up. A couple other people come in and get beat up. Then the Young Bucks come down. Instead of the Young Bucks hitting these guys with super kicks and seeing what the fuck's going on, they stop, they talk, they hit they knock out the Varsity Blondes who try to get involved again, and then they all do the pose with the fucking Too Sweet. Really? Wow. This is how you kill an invasion angle. Name me. I really want somebody in the comment section. Name me an invasion angle that actually was fucking successful. Because you're not going to find one. This is pathetic. This is not going to help either show. But Omega's on Impact Wrestling. Yeah, but so is Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone burying the company in about a 3-minute paid-for ad. This is going to benefit nobody. I'm not interested. I don't care. Unless the Good Brothers are going to be in AEW as actual AEW wrestlers, I don't care. I don't care for an invasion angle. I hate invasion angles. I used to watch an independent promotion, WCPW, that turned into Defiant Wrestling. They did an invasion angle, and it was shit. Impact Wrestling had Global Force Wrestling invade them. Guess what? It was shit. The invasion angles never fucking work because you always know the fucking invading force loses. And they never do it right anyway. This is just so bad. Unless, like I said, unless the Good Brothers are coming to AEW and they're going to be leaving Impact Wrestling, why bother? This was dumb. The Good Brothers and them all do the Bullet Club sign, and that was that. That was that. New Year's Smash was hit and miss, really. I mean, there was big hits with that world title match. The big misses were the fact that they announced the waiting room's coming, Snoop Dogg being on the show was absolute waste of time, and the invasion at the end. Everything else was good. And like I said, another miss was probably Woodlow versus Jake Hager, because it's just Woodlow's got ways to go. Jake Hager just he needs to just stick to being the guy who just in the back does nothing but is the muscle, because he's not really that good of a wrestler. But that is your AEW on TNT Review New Year's Smash Night 1 edition. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Parler at the France Club, find me on twitch.tv/France Club, and find me on Instagram at the France Club, and I'll see you guys Friday for SmackDown. Until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.